What is going on, Babylonians? It's me, Songs of Rage, back with another Battlefield gun guide to bring to you. And today we're going to be looking at the one sniper rifle that was actually given access to in the beta, and that is the SWS-10 sniper rifle. Now, this was able to be kitted in a variety of ways, and I've only managed to get a little bit of testing done with this because it was a very difficult environment to be able to get all the numbers and figures. But we're going to look at obviously the most important ones straight away, and then obviously when the game does drop we will revisit this gun after we're able to do a lot more testing. So let's get into the basics, let's get into the gist of it, and let's start breaking this gun down. Alright, first and foremost, the gun itself is pretty decent. It's I struggled to have a good time with this originally when I first got this gun, and that's just due to how the hit registration was on the server. I think that may have been down to potential server issues, maybe just due to the fact of how many people actually did try to play the beta. It could be a variety of issues, but I'd like to think that Battlefield normally, when it comes to sniping, is well, especially with hit registration, is overall on the good side. You can by all means load up like Battlefield 4, which is obviously quite a few years old now, and you can still get some good hit registration on that game right now. So I'm sure when the final product does drop, those kind of consistency issues will be going. But let's have a look into the main thing. So what I could see from consistent was the ADS times, that aiming down sight, was 500 milliseconds. Now, obviously with this one, it kind of depends on when you actually consider the game to be fully aimed down sights. Now, I believe that it should be an accurate shot as soon as that reticle stops moving. Obviously, the lens and all that, they can still do a little bit of movement on the sides and all that kind of thing, but I don't think that really affects the accuracy of that first shot, so I'm not going to include that in there. So I've got around about 500 milliseconds with that, but I'm sure some other people will probably measure that a little bit shorter, or maybe even a little bit longer, depending on how they do their kind of investigations with that one. The gun as a standard comes with a 6-round mag plus 1, so obviously takes it up to 7, and this comes with a reload time of 2.67 seconds. Now, you do have the option to go for the close combat mag, which takes this to a 14 plus 1, and comes with a variety of upsides, but also a couple of downsides that we're able to mention that weren't listed in the beta. But this reloads a little bit quicker at 2.53 seconds reload. So there's not much in it, to be honest with you. Obviously, the double size of the mag is quite big for the obviously going for that close quarters. So if that's your kind of thing, then by all means. But when it does come to that close combat one, the thing you need to keep in mind is, in my experience, unless it was some kind of placebo, is that the bullet velocity didn't seem to be as high. And on top of that, the bullet did seem to dip a lot quicker as well. So if you're looking to be able to be one of those long-range snipers or anything like that, you definitely don't want to be going for this mag. You want to stick with the standard. And it'll be interesting to see if there are any other kind of mag attachments or anything like that as soon as that full game does drop. The close combat is probably more designed for those montages, those quick scoping kind of like snipers out there, and you definitely can't really go wrong, because by that time the bullet velocity and the dip of the bullet is not really going to make too much of a difference, because you're going to be up close and personal. But obviously when you do choose to go for a proper sniping, it's definitely not the mag choice for you. So in past episodes, I have been able to give you an idea as to the RPM of the gun, all that kind of thing. And when it comes to automatics, it's a lot easier to be able to do. When it comes to sniper rifles, in the footage that I had to hand to be able to review this, I find it to be inconclusive. Now, I did manage to find that from what limited information I did have, that it is going to be less than 1 round per second on average, which means that you're going to be looking at less than 60 RPM. So this is kind of on the slow side, but obviously when it comes to bolt actions, this kind of makes sense, and obviously all the ring chambers in that kind of way. So by all means, I didn't really get any figures for the close combat, because as soon as I realised the downsides for the close combat, I just tended to steer clear of that. It didn't really fit the sniper kind of playstyle or anything like that, so I in my personal way, I just tended to avoid that. So it's a bit inconclusive at the moment. Rest assured, as soon as that full game does drop, we will be doing the testing on that to be able to get our spreadsheet fully up to date with that. But then it just kind of leaves onto the shots to kill. So because it's a sniper rifle, everyone knows that bolt action, or mainly pretty much any sniper that actually is classified as that in Battlefield games, will always be a one-shot kill to the head. Obviously, in other Battlefield games, they had those specialists, which obviously came with armor and all that, so we tend to try and avoid those. But in terms of the standard generic operator, which we're going to be playing as, it is just a one single shot to the head, so it's going to be able to kill. And this was the same for the close combat as well as the standard mag, from what I could tell. So in which case you actually have a 0 millisecond time to kill when it comes to this gun. Now, on top of that, if you do miss the head and you do end up hitting the body, from my experience, when it came to the standard mag, this could actually go up to a 2-shot to kill. At pretty much any single range, but when it came to the close combat, I'm pretty confident that I was able to get 3-shot kills. So just keep in mind that there is a good chance that the close combat does drop the damage down a little bit, or maybe even affect the range multipliers. So just keep that. But obviously, there, like I mentioned, my tests were inconclusive on that because it was not a controlled environment or anything like that. So it was very difficult to be able to get you some exact figures. So rest assured, as soon as that full game does drop, I will be able to clarify that for you. But as far as I could tell, if you can't hit the headshot, it's going to be a 2-shot to kill on the standard mag, and it could potentially be a 2 or a 3-shot kill on the close combat. So let's go into the attachments that we had available to us out of the beta, and I'm sure that this isn't going to be the extensive list. I'm sure we're going to be seeing some more, but let's have a quick look. So obviously this is a sniper rifle, but as default it didn't spawn in with any sights, so you do need your plus system to be able to select one. What we had available to us were 2 sights, and one of which was the 6x M11 sight, which gave us obviously a 6-time magnification, and was basically your sniper sight of choice if you were going for those longer range engagements. Overall, quite a nice choice, and it does mention a +6 in range and -6 in handling, but I don't think it really benefits that. I'm pretty sure it's just a case of it gives you a little bit more zoom range. When it came to the other option, we had the Raven 4x, and this was basically your mid-range, so this was still your sight, but if you want to engage a little bit closer. Now this goes kind of in tandem with the close combat magazine attachment that we had access to, and was overall not a terrible choice to be able to go for. If we go from there to the attachments of the magazines, which on the right hand side, which obviously we've already covered in detail, you obviously have the standard one, which doesn't really have any kind of pluses or negatives because these are the standard rounds to be able to compare against, and we also have the close combat mag, which mentions plus in recoil control, plus in reload speed, and plus in rate of fire. The reload speed bonus is kind of negligible. It doesn't really exist there at all. It might just be frame roundings for the fact that I've got maybe 1 or 2 frames bit of a quicker of a reload. The rate of fire was a bit inconclusive, so I haven't been able to get confirmation on that one, so there is a possibility that's the case. And as for the recoil control, I'm pretty sure there was no... Due to the fact that this is a bolt-action sniper rifle, all we will pretty much get is less view kick when it came to looking down your sight, so you'll be able to watch your target a little bit closer. If we go from there to downwards, we have the mounted flashlight, and the flashlight is kind of a dead giveaway as to your position unless you're going for close quarters, in which case close quarters would then allow you to be able to blind your enemies. So overall, that's an attachment I would stay clear of. Your lens already gives you away as a sniper, so there's no real need to actually add on top of that for the flashlight. And lastly, we also have the Cobra grip, which obviously is standard pretty much on every single gun that we've looked at so far, and gives us plus accuracy while static. Technically, you can get away with not having an underbarrel whatsoever from the selections that we had available to us. And then lastly, we have the barrels. First off, we have the factory barrel, which doesn't really give us any kind of bonuses because it's the factory barrel. Next up, we have the Arkham tactical muzzle brake, which gives us plus vertical recoil control. Once again, this is not something I would necessarily recommend. I mean, it's not going to obviously impact your gun in any kind of way, but it's also not really going to help it in any kind of sense of the word anyway, due to the low rate of fire. And then lastly, we have the 6KU suppressor, which gives us plus suppressed sound and no minimap spotted while firing. Now, I don't have any testing with this one, but in previous Battlefield games, when you put a suppressor on the rifle, it does seem to affect the bullet velocity, and most of the time in a negative way. So it'll be interesting to see if that one does actually affect damage or range in any kind of way, but we have no conclusive testing because this wasn't a controlled environment to be able to find out what kind of damage numbers it was actually putting out. And that pretty much covers everything that was available on the SWS-10, at least in the beta. So overall, the SWS-10, even though it was the only sniper rifle we had access to when it came to the beta, did actually set a pretty good precedence and a pretty good benchmark to base pretty much every single sniper rifle we're going to see after this. Overall, it was pretty good. It did have quite a massive bullet drop at extreme ranges from what I could tell, but that will be interesting to see if that's going to be, if we're going to get some more longer range snipers that are more designed for that, obviously when the full game does drop. I'm interested, most of the times when, for example, if you go back to like Battlefield 4 and the massive selection of sniper rifles that I had access to there, it'll be interesting to see how many rifles we are actually going to be expecting in this game and how they kind of differ from each other. So it's kind of exciting. Overall, the SWS is pretty good, and I would recommend that if you are a sniper, you definitely pick this up to give this a try. It wouldn't surprise me if this is the first rifle that you do actually get unlocked straight away if you were looking to be able to use snipers, and then we'll see how the other ones kind of affect it from there. Like I did mention, unfortunately, a few of the bits of data for this rifle were very inconclusive. It was very hard to be able to get the exact data to be able to get that across to you, but rest assured, as soon as that game does drop, we will be revisiting this and be able to update our spreadsheet and be able to make all that data available to you. And that is it, Babylonians. That's the episode for today on the SWS-10 Sniper Gun Guide. I hope you've enjoyed. Make sure that you click that like button and that subscribe button that can be found down below. If you want to become a member of the Babylonian family, like these lucky individuals, then make sure you click that join button that's found right next to the subscribe button as well. It really is as little as 99p a month, and it just confirms that this is the kind of content that you're looking forward to, and it really just goes straight back into the channel. It really and gives you an exclusive member benefit over on our Discord as well. So if you haven't joined there as well, make sure you click that link that's found in the description as well and get yourselves over there and come say hi to us. That pretty much wraps it up. So as always, keep yourself safe, keep yourself well, and I'll see you all on that next video.